Hi all, I thought we could do another free rated puzzles today. So this is at chessworld.net on the play rated puzzles page. Okay, let's go for it. Right, we have a pin here. So the pin piece, the power of it is illusionary, is a famous quotation. In fact, there's a forcing move based on that immediately, I see. So that is a certain weakness of the pieces in our tactical unification theory. If you want to sort of audit the weaknesses, which and then look at like all the forcing moves. But it seems rook takes f8 based on the pin, king takes, there's bishop h6 there. If the king's forced to g8, then I think we can just check here. Queen have to go in front and lose herself. I think that looks pretty convincing. There's another tip about looking for stronger moves, of course. I think that really does look so convincing. Bishop h6, king g8, queen c8. I am checking again. I know that's not a recommendation of Kotov, but I think that's a bit controversial not to check your variations. In his book, Think Like a Grandmaster, I think especially when you're sacrificing pieces, it's a very committal point of the game. Turning point, you know, sacrificing pieces if it doesn't work out. But here, I think I'm pretty convinced that this is convincing. Rook takes, bishop h6, king g8, queen c8. I'm going to go for this. Right, bishop h6, I believe. Yep, so quite an easy one there to start the session with. Boat against Farrago. So taking, so king g8, queen c8, queen f8, we just take the queen. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Easy so far, relatively easy. So black to play. Now there's a pin here. If only we could get the rook distracted, then we could take the queen. That's not likely to happen. Black to play looks a bit tricky, really. The weaknesses apart from this dependency on that pin. There's some forcing moves immediately that stand out, like rook h2, queen c3, bishop c1. Hold on a sec. In relation to what we've just analysed as a weakness of the pieces, that there's a pin dependency that has some bearing, because if the king went in front, we could take the queen. Bishop c1, and worse than that, king takes, queen a1, king d2. I think we can knock out the pinned piece, the pinner, with queen takes e1, takes, and we're a knight up. I think that's looking pretty good. Bishop c1 here. I can't see what the options are for white. We take the queen, there's no major problem. The king goes in front, we take the queen. We have queen a1, we have queen takes e1, we have e takes. I think this is it. Okay, I think it's queen a1. I know we should look for stronger moves, but I'm convinced so much here that this is the way to go. Yep. Okay, so the pin theme there, or rather unpinning tactically to win that queen. So that was in Veromirovic against Ivanisevic. Bishop c1. So if rook takes, we just take the queen. So queen e1, queen a1 rather, queen takes e1, and we take the queen. Let's go on to the third one today. Smooth session, this one so far. Is this going to be a nightmare? White to play. Now we've got another pin here against the knight. Our queen's attacked. Any weaknesses of the pieces here apart from that pin piece? There's also a potential kind of thing here on the queen. An X-ray on the queen. Is that a weakness of the pieces? It does mean, well, that pin piece, there's the forcing move knight c5 of some interest. There's also this bishop on this diagonal. This forcing move adds, there's more interest added, is actually threatening mate. There's no rook e4. So taking, check. Where does the king go? Be losing the rook with the discover check. That looks pretty nasty, actually. Queen takes d6. But there might be something stronger what about, I don't know, just simply knight takes d6 check, so that c takes force, the queen takes, we're threatening queen c7. Now if the knight moves, well, queen c7 is dangerous, queen b7, then what? I wonder about that position. So some tasty alternatives, knight takes, or even queen takes. So taking, I mean, king, if we look at this with king b8, it's like we can take here. Let's imagine king a8. We're scooping up a lot of material. Mind you, if rook takes, we've got this back row ourselves taking, we've got a back row issue with queen f1. So I think it might be clearer to play knight takes. This is a tricky one, isn't it? Knight takes cd, queen d6, queen b7. Then what? In this position, rook b3. The knight might move, but actually, hold on. If the knight moves, haven't we got queen b8? Because we're cutting the king here. Queen takes, rook b8 would be mate. So I'm wondering about that. That rook b3 there seems actually pretty strong, because it carries with it the forcing move of queen b8, taking rook b8. That looks pretty convincing, actually. I just thought rook b3 might be a bit slow there. But yeah, this queen b8. If the queen's forced to move, I mean, where does she move to defend c7? Let's visualize that again. Knight d6, cd, queen d6. Might be a critical position in the game. You want to get it right. You don't want regret. You don't want to sleep this night. You've got some time on your clock. You could use it. It's not a 5-minute game. Knight takes cd, queen d6. So we're threatening mate on c7. Queen b6, let's examine that. That's more stubborn resistance, actually, queen b6. Hold on a sec. Rook b3 doesn't work so well. Or does it? I think it works in the same way, actually. Knight moves, queen b8 again. Takes mating. This bishop, I think we're going to go for this. I'm going to try it. Might be wrong here, because queen d6 is tempting as well, but I can't quite see it. So knight takes. It's not the correct move. I thought it was dangerous. So now we're going to get into guessing. Queen takes, speculation. Okay, just for the sake of solving this puzzle. This position, so it is winning more material. I wonder if there was something more special about this. Only 33 seconds left. I think I've messed up today on this. Knight c4 or knight takes. Maybe we can just, I'd try and get more material, I think, with knight takes in a practical game. Alright, we've got a king hunt going. b3, bishop c7. Bishop c7, we can win even more material. I'll go for this. No? Rook b3. Well, there's bishop d6 here. Oh, that's driving the king to c4. I've run out of time. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah. I've just lost on time. I wonder, bishop d6, king c4. Was that the way to do it? Bit too late. So it was a kind of king hunt combination. Queen takes d6. Let's have a look at this position again. So king c7 was played. Knight takes. I guess in this position, is king here? We're winning all the material, aren't we? After we take here, this position, we've got rook, knight, and bishop. In fact, rook b3 here. Here, say, we're getting even more material. Well, the knight c7 mate. And here, it doesn't look too appetizing after knight d6, this position. Maybe check here, and then we've got rook. We've almost got rook b8, but the king's got b7 after. Maybe we just take here, overwhelming material, because we're actually winning that knight as well now, for example, with a bishop up if the queen defends. So it was a tricky one. I got it wrong. I thought knight takes d6, so I think I've got to work on my tactical skill here. Knight takes d6, I was convinced. I'll do an engine check on this position and let you know in the comments of the video what I found about knight takes d6. Maybe it's nothing. It seemed so convincing to me. But yeah, queen takes d6, the more brilliant move might be better. Comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.